What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the Playbook. Today, 5 different ways to score corner kicks, and we're coming in hot fire. We're starting off with the Endline Movement, which is one of my favorites to take advantage of corner kicks in general. Something that's always on my mind, and you're going to see a lot of short corners for this reason. I don't like and I don't appreciate being counterattacked from my own offensive corner kick. So that will be a bit of a theme as an early disclaimer. You call it a short man and you're going to play a game of 1-2s. When I talk about the end line, this is the man that you have to beat in some sort of 1v1. I love doing a body feint left to right, and I've made a full tutorial on body feint, so I'm kind of going to attack this end line. The reason that is relevant or is important information is if I lose the ball, I often draw another corner kick. So I get another attempt, I can mix it up. People aren't checking and they're not used to the body feint in particular, the side to side that I'm able to take advantage of. Maybe after this video, more people will notice. Either way, you are playing a bit of a game of 1-2s or making a decision between the corner kick taker and the short corner receiver. So it's important that those two players are guys that can whip in the cross if you want to go direct, or they're able to dribble. They have some skills. They have some workability, some maneuverability, if you will. So that would be my only disclaimer. Otherwise, most players are going to be capable of doing what we're trying to take advantage of. And I want to notice what happens with space. Is there going to be space here? Is there going to be space there? In terms of taking advantage of what my opposition gives us. And so much of that comes down to this defensive player. Do we beat him? Does he react? Does he play passively? Does he play aggressively? Boom. De Lorenzo around the corner. Now we're pushing it forward a little bit. You could probably see what's going to open up. So we're going to bring this back. Mkhitaryan wide open. And then I'm going to hit him with another body feint. I'm going to give him another little piece because you still have to take on the defenders. Most corner kicks, if you go short, it's not going to be a clear-cut opportunity. You're going to have some sort of 50-50, or you're going to have to push the ball into a dangerous area. Thankfully, you're the attacker, so you're incentivized to go for it. Go for the gold. You get a chance to take in the gold. Mkhitaryan, and then I'm going to come straight into another body feint here, and then it opens up the entirety of the space. Beat a man in a 1v1. Beautiful finish. Love to see it, but it all starts with beating that initial end line protector from the corner kick. We've got more, and this might be a better example of how the body feint works to beat this front man. So you want to face and make it almost look obvious that you're going the other direction. So if you can see, Rodrigo is facing this way, but I'm going to body feint that way. So it makes it where my opposition is thinking that he has to take away a pass in this direction, and that's not the case whatsoever. Boom, gone. See what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So remember, we're playing this 1-2 game that I talked about before. This player, he thinks, is who I'm going to be focused on. I use that to my advantage. I overplay it on purpose. Therefore, I can attack this end line. Now that I'm down the end line, I've got to see what happens. We've got a scenario. We've got a situation. We're ball rolling. We're finding space. There's your pullback. I'm actually going to recycle just slightly. And then when I get the ball here, I notice a gap opens up. My opposition makes a mistake. And anytime you see this, focus in, dial up. You know if you're going against an AI player or if you're going against an actual defender. And because my opponent switches to the middle, I'm thinking I've got a decent amount of space here. Captavia should be able to attack this lane. I got space to work with. Even though he's not the best dribbler or the skill move guy, none of the above. I'm a believer in the Spaniard. We're going to take our chances. There you have the turn, reach, teach, bad player switch. And then we notice the goalkeeper also is going to scoot. There's a lot of variables to scoring goals. He's scooting a little bit this way, so we're going to beat him on the near post. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous! Come on. And no counterattacks are being conceded. Next up, we have the Travella Setup. You're going to notice a theme with the way that I'm preparing, I'm orchestrating my corner kick. So we're going short as per usual, and then Rodrigo is going to attack that front man. But the way that he plays, and this is what I want to stress, with the front guy, he plays passive. He backs up. He's not going to allow me the freedom to just take off down the end line, which is totally fine. I understand the scenario. So now we're back in the same situation. We're going to be playing that 1-2, but I know the space is going to open up. We're going to go for an early recycle. And there you have it, Nakata. And this is where the two players that you're using for your corner kicks do matter. Go into roles, adjust, be comfortable. Because if you have a player that has a Travella trait, this gets way easier. Or if you're going to focus on a finesse shot, also much easier with someone that has that trait. or play style, excuse me, or play style plus in order to kind of line this up. So Nakata into the spot. The game is always around deception. My opponent is thinking that I'm going to be hitting some sort of pass, maybe even a cross here. I'm going to take that to my advantage. I see that there is an opportunity for a gap, especially assuming that these players are going to potentially be trying to take away that back pass. This is what I'm anticipating. I'm giving you my mindset. There you go. You split it wide open. Green time finish, which is a big helper. Nakata does the business. I'll give that to you in full speed. It happens quick. You've seen and conceded this goal, though. I know that you have. If you've played a decent amount of FC24, this has been something that's happened in your favor and against you. It's all about reacting. Rodrigo, that man's not moving for me. Nakata into space. I believe in it. Right angle, right player, right time. Maybe you're more of a finesse lifestyle type, which is totally fine, especially when it comes to time finishing, which I will put up a tutorial, but the best way to learn time finishing if you're struggling is pick one shot type, master that shot type with time finishing, whether that's a regular shot, a finesse shot, a power shot, a Travella shot, because the way that your player approaches impacts the timing. But if you're trying to learn all of them at once, you're gonna struggle. And if you miss time a finish in FC24, you don't have a chance to score, at least not if it's red or close to red. If it's completely mistimed, there's no chance that you're going to convert, even with a high rated or a player that is a spectacle. So this situation, same sort of setup. My opponent, he played passively. This player didn't produce a lot of pressure. He's kind of running back, took away my easy end line option, which is typically my first option or first option of choice. So in my headspace, I'm thinking option 1, option 2, option 3, and then also having a certain amount of reactiveness, because at the end of the day, nothing in FC24 will be universal. You're still playing a real opponent, a real opposition. The way they move players or don't move players, the way that they play aggressively or passively should impact what you go with, from quick passing to slower passing to cutting angles, attacking angles, long shots, short distance, power, timing, goalkeeper movement, and so forth and so on. This is the scenario. We've got Hemp. She's stepping into space. We're in that money zone. This is always going to be that bread and butter. It's what you want to see, you hope to see. She's also left-footed. Left side, finesse is open, goalkeeper out of position. You love to see this type of scenario. Bang, bang, yes sir. I don't know if I like the yellow better, but we're giving you 2 different looks with the animations today. It's a gorgeous goal. Bang, bang. Oh, that is so easy on the eyes. I'm calling this the indirect, and it should make sense when you see what we're setting up. And you can do this with different players and different positions. I've scored and conceded in multiple setups, sequences, scenarios that this corner kick tactic or approach works well with. We're going short as per usual. We turn Rodrigo. He's going to give it back to Nakata, and I'm just looking at the defender. I didn't do a good job in this position. I don't love where he's sitting, and I'm saying, if we got 2 guys that are outside of the box or damn near outside of the box, I could do something with this. That means there's less players being marked. Who's available? What kind of options do I have for whip crosses? I don't like option 1, but 2 and 3 both look possible. Both look feasible. I know Nakata can whip this in. I believe that I'm in a good position from a percentage exchange to work this into motion, to be able to convert. And I'm also looking at what happens if I lose the header? What is potentially my worst case scenarios? And at the moment, I've got 2 players at the top of the box, and my opponent doesn't have a bunch of outlets. These would be the best outlet players for my opposition. So I'm saying maybe even if I don't win the header, I'll get a chance at the bounce back or the secondary step into space type of opportunity. We've got Nakata, definitely capable. Most people would have thought this is going to head towards the big body. I believe it's Varane. That's not how it plays out. You'll see how it steps into space. This is how crossing can work this year. I would recommend 2 to 3 bars, maybe 2.5 to 3 bars, generally speaking. It depends where you want to place it, but normally I'm aiming somewhere in the middle to the back post. Natural swinger, boom, what a finish. I think that's Mkhitaryan again. Shout out to Mkhitaryan. He's been doing the business. If you're looking for a discount option from those Trailblazers, Mkhitaryan is good value. Last but not least, we have the Vision Express. And I was thinking about calling this the drop-off. It's not necessarily the most difficult, but you do have to have the ability to recognize when it's open and when it's not. You can't just force it in. So let me explain. We're going short. As per all examples in this video, you see me beat the front man. That's part of our starter play, the Endline Movement. After that happens, good recovery here. I don't like what I'm seeing. I knew that I'm going to lose the ball, so Swanson's going to resurface. So now we're looking at that option 2. This is something that I really like, actually. You get to see how I'm identifying each of the options. So I went for the end line. It got cut off. Now I've pulled it back. I've got James. She's not as good with the Travella, so I'm thinking I don't think the Travella's open. Same with the finesse shot. I'm going to resurface here and look for a pass. Exactly what I do. I get the ball into Mace, and I see a little bit of a hole. And this is always going to be the player you want, by the way. If you're going to try to beat the defense or the midfield, you're going to try to make some sort of intricate pass. It's always going to be that final player, if it's a striker or a midfield or some sort of attacker, but this is going to be the player that you're aiming for because we're measuring risk to reward. If I risk it, it's a dangerous pass. It's hard to get it in there. I want to make sure that I'm getting a shot on goal or that I'm scoring a goal. I've got a real chance to convert. Mace does just that. Beautiful. Alex Morgan taps it in. Gorgeous. And it's always that front line player, and it's typically a striker, but it can vary. Those are my 5 ways that I'm incorporating in scoring corners and also protecting myself from being countered against corner kicks. I hope that this is super helpful. If you have any questions, I'm happy to go over all the details. When it comes to some of the skills and the intricacies, other videos are on this channel and other videos are being suggested on screen. If you want to keep on watching that goodness, welcome to the Playbook. I hope that you have already subscribed and I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.